All right, people, the conclusion to the DCEU is here with Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. Now, this movie, not getting great reviews, not doing great at the box office. It's got like a 36% on Rotten Tomatoes or something like that. People are not loving this movie, which honestly is a real shame because it's not a bad movie. It's actually pretty good. I honestly quite enjoyed it. To be completely honest, I like it almost as much as the first movie. I do think the first movie is better. The first Aquaman film from 2018, man, I love that movie. One of my favorite DC films, and this one comes close. I mean, it's still a damn good movie. Like I really enjoyed it. It's just it's fun. That's really what it is, and that's how most people have been describing it. Is this movie is just fun, and it really is. You just go there, you go sit down in a theater, and you just strap in for a fun little adventure here with Aquaman and his brother and Black Manta, and a little bit of Amber Heard, but overall it's pretty great. I honestly really enjoyed it, and I mean, is this the ideal conclusion to the DCU? No, but I mean, ignoring that fact, just as an Aquaman movie, it's good, and probably another reason I love this so much is because going into this, I wasn't expecting anything. Again, it's gotten terrible reviews. People saying that it's so different from the first film, that it takes a more comedic approach. I was expecting to come into this and have to mention in this review, oh, it's like Thor: Love and Thunder, but for Aquaman. No, I don't see what people are talking about. This doesn't seem all that different from the first film. Honestly, it feels very similar to the first film from my perspective, and this movie reminds me how much I love that first film. And yeah, I mean, some people are saying that like it's a bit sillier, it's a bit more ridiculous, and I mean, I sure in some regards, and some people also saying that like in this movie they just really let Jason Momoa be Jason Momoa, and again, there's certain moments, Jason Momoa's doing his classic scream yell thing a lot in this movie, which I don't know why, but just reminds me of Goofy, like Disney Goofy and his yell thing. That's what it sounds like to me. He did that quite a bit in this film, which isn't very Aquaman. And to be completely honest, like this version of Aquaman isn't Aquaman, and that's a lot of people's complaints with this film is that, oh, it doesn't feel like an Aquaman movie. And no, it doesn't always necessarily feel like an Aquaman movie, but I mean, like, for this version of Aquaman, it works. This is very different from the comics. This is a, much more like rock and roll. I mean, best way to describe it, as most people say, it's Jason Momoa, but not in an Aquaman suit. That's what it is. And some people also saying that, like, we know Jason Momoa, it's all but confirmed at this point that he's going to play Lobo in the DCU. He's done his Aquaman. This was the last film as Aquaman. Some people saying that, like, in this movie, he acts more like Lobo than he does Aquaman. And, yeah, that's fair. But, again, is this not what we've been getting from this version of Aquaman in all of his past appearances? It doesn't feel that different to me, to be completely honest. And Black Manta, also a huge highlight of this film. I just love Yahya Abdul-Mateen II as Black Manta. Oh, the suit is so beautiful in this movie. It's so comics accurate, and the fight between Aquaman and Black Manta at the end with their tridents, so cool. The only real complaint with Black Manta is that he just, in the first film, he was a really cool villain because he had real actual motives. He wanted to avenge his father. Here, he becomes possessed by the Black Trident and becomes less Black Manta and more just mindless person being controlled by the Black Trident and this past king of Necros, the Lost Kingdom. So that is a bit unfortunate that we don't really get much Black Manta himself in this movie, and is more him being controlled by this underwater demon, basically. So that does suck. But I mean, that's honestly my biggest complaint in this film. Like, I don't have a whole lot else here that I don't like. I mean, Amber Heard's in it, so I guess that's something to mention on the don't like part of things. Um, yes, she's in it. She's not in it a whole lot. She has like maybe 10 minutes of screen time, but it's, sprinkled throughout. She's in the beginning of the movie. Something maybe happens to her. I won't say what it is because, non-spoiler review. And then she comes back at the end. And yeah, also Nicole Kidman's role was really small as well, which was a bit unfortunate, that she didn't have a bigger role because she was a great part of the first film. But there were also some other characters from the first film that have not been showcased in any of the trailers at all that I almost completely forgot about. I can't believe I didn't even think to rewatch the first film before this one. Honestly, really wish I did, and now I want to, because again, I love that first movie. But like, Dolph Lundgren as, I don't even remember what the kingdom is called, but Mira's father, basically. He's back here in a pretty large role. The Brine King as well, I was really surprised about. Most people probably don't even remember the Brine King, but the Brine King had a small appearance in the first film. And remember, I got a little action figure of the Brine King, and I really love that guy. And he's here for a huge role. Like, he's in this for a big chunk of this film. One unfortunate thing is we don't have Willem Dafoe in this movie, which does kind of suck. Let's see. Oh, Orm, of course, yes. Ocean Master, the villain of the first film, returns here. We have him teaming up with his brother Arthur, and that is another one of the huge highlights of this movie, is just their chemistry. Their brotherly bickering, but of course, Orm, he's got to be redeemed in the end, and he's, turning a new leaf. They got to team up to fight Black Manta. That was really cool, and it played out really, really well. So I really enjoyed that. The soundtrack was great. There were some great songs here. It almost felt very kind of Guardians of the Galaxy. I'm also saying that because there was a song in here that actually was in the first Guardians of the Galaxy movie. CGI, for the most part, is pretty good. I mean, there's a couple shots. There's one shot in particular that I saw at the beginning where I was like, that's very green screen. But for the most part, it looks great. Just like the first movie, fantastic, beautiful visuals. I went to see this movie with my friend, and I was talking to him before about how beautiful this version of Atlantis looks, especially in comparison when you look at, like, Marvel just did basically Atlantis in Black Panther Wakanda Forever with Talocan, and that was a much darker, more realistic version of what it would be that deep underwater. But I definitely prefer the brighter colors here, and this is a really bright movie. Again, adds to the funness of it. It is silly, it is jokey, but I didn't think to a super duper extreme level. Like, it's definitely not Thor Love and Thunder's level. I would put the comedy on par with maybe Thor Ragnarok for sure. Or maybe a Guardians of the Galaxy movie. Actually, maybe not even that much. Like, it's really not as extreme as most people are saying it is, to be completely honest. I mean, we do have Martin Short in here as well, which is really cool. But that even that wasn't really like a funny scene. It's just a good movie. Again, I really enjoyed it. And does it suck that the DCU ends here? I mean, yeah, but I personally think it's a good movie to go out on because, again, I think it's almost as good as the first film. I really enjoyed it. This movie came out last Friday, and usually, superhero films, especially now that, I'm an adult, I'm in college, I can drive myself to the theater myself. I'd usually go see superhero movies opening day, opening weekend. But this, because of the bad reviews, because of everybody saying all this bad stuff about it, I was like, I'll wait. So I waited a couple days. Day after Christmas, I go to see it. I regret not seeing it sooner. Again, it was fantastic. I really thoroughly enjoy this. Is it amazing? No. But it's good. It's pretty good. not as good as the first film, but close. I really enjoyed Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom, and hopefully some other people did as well, because I haven't really seen many others that actually do like this movie. But yeah, guys, please let me know your thoughts in the comments below. What did you think about Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom? I'll be doing a spoiler review as well, so stay tuned for that. But for now, guys, thanks so much for watching. Please drop a like if you enjoyed this video, and hit the subscribe button so I can keep you up to date on everything goes on in the DC life.